following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast. After a brief hiatus, Al, Jay, and Thomas return. Today, the guys talk about what they've been up to since we went on our hiatus. On our main topic of the day, we talk about the QB rooms of the Jets, Cowboys, Bears, and Steelers, our listener question of the day, and we also wrap things up with some trivia, as always. All that and more. On to the show. I am your host, J.R. Glymph. Welcome to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. This episode is sponsored by Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. This is episode 198. Y'all come on in, wipe your feet, close the door behind you. I'm your host, J.R. Glymph. Joining me as always, my wonderful co-host, Alvin Glymph, Thomas Stevens. What's good with you, Al?
Wow. I'm back, baby. We back. We back.
Yes, sir.
Oof. Good to be back. Good to be back. Good to be doing this. Good to be back with y'all. What up, listeners? Glad y'all stuck with us. You know, a little hiatus is good for everybody. Yo, man, good to be back, man. Good to be here. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Good, man.
Yes,
it's
sir.
good. It's good to hear your voice, and I mean, no offense, but it's good to hear your voice without your wife having to approve what you say. So.
Hello. I forgot what it feels like to be unfiltered.
Right. Oh, Pooh, what's good, bro?
Man, what's good, man? It's so good to be home, man.
Man, for real.
It's here.
It is here, and y'all, we did take a break intentionally. We were almost 200 episodes in, and we'd never taken a break longer than 2 weeks. So I feel refreshed. I think I can speak for all three of us. We feel refreshed and kind of, recharged and ready to go, man. And we purposely again took this break and jumped back on things leading up to this NFL season. So I'm ready to get it in. This break was well needed. I missed y'all, but to all the listeners out there, I missed y'all, but this was well needed. I did not miss the tiredness that we were starting to feel week in and week out. Going on 3 years with no break. So it's good to be refreshed and it's good to be back.
Facts. Well timed. But it's good to be here. It's kind of like, a little summer vacation. That's what it kind of felt like, a little summer vacation.
Absolutely, right?
Now we're back.
Yeah. So y'all will notice, not necessarily a new format, but a shorter format. So we will jump on things and move on. We will not get. We promise y'all we will never discuss the MJ and LeBron GOAT topic, because that drags things out. We will not do that. But
go back and listen to the old shows.
Right, please. But yeah, so but with that said, man, I want to touch on something a little light before we jump into the main thing. What you guys been up to since we've been on this hiatus, man? It's been a couple months. So Al, tell the people what you've been up to.
Man, it's been a productive break. We from a podcast perspective, launched the Aftergate series where I'm co-hosting with my friend of 30 years, Jerry Dubois, and we have been interviewing Colgate alum of color that have just telling their story about what it was like on campus and then what they have been like, what life has been like since. So real fascinating stories. Definitely check us out, Aftergate. and that's been cool. Good response from alumni, good response from even some students. So
Dope
really,
show,
really
man.
appreciated that.
It's a dope show. If y'all hadn't checked it out, definitely check it out, man. I'm enjoying hearing people's stories, and Al and Jerry, you guys do a great job. And we got interns, y'all, working with Al and Jerry on the show. So shout out to you, Jerry, and the interns there, man. Y'all doing a great job. I love the show.
Thank you. 3 current Colgate students, Izzy, Sophia, and Kathy, that have just dedicated their time this summer to just bring innovation, bring social media expertise, and as they get back on campus, have committed to playing some type of role through promotion or somehow to make it have an impact on campus. So just appreciate their efforts. But other than that, man, just been enjoying the summer, but at the same time, just paying attention to whether it's the weather, the politics, the COVID, just, taking stock of that and really just appreciating my time here. So all is good. We just, from a business perspective, our company, Glymph and Associates, just experienced our 20th anniversary.
Wow!
So,
Congrats, man.
thank you. So this is our 20th year. Hope we'll see how this plays out with everything going on, what type of celebration or whatever we'll do. But definitely looking to acknowledge it at some point this year. Have appreciated the run and what we've done in this company, but also the opportunity to provide for my family. Just 20 years later, just has been an amazing run, and looking forward to just taking it to another level. But that's it, bro. Just, life is good.
No doubt. It's good to hear. Pooh, man, what you been up to since the folks last heard from us?
Man, I just been hanging out, man. Doing things with the fam. And that's it. Just enjoying this family time. Embarking on the new things at work. Shifting new things around and doing some research, trying to find out different ways how to do my job better, and working on my own LLC. Other than that, man, that's it.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah, I ain't been up to nothing. Just again, like Pooh said, enjoying the family. Growing this Defy Life thing. We got new line of items coming out on Defy Life gear. So y'all check out the graphic tees that are launching and still being posted weekly. So always new items coming up on, especially as seasons change on Defy Life gear. Launching shows like Aftergate, the Mike Minister Hour, Unsupervised is coming back.
Okay.
With Paul, Hollywood P said, Don, don't get rid of it. I'm bringing it back. So Paul will be introducing 2 new co-hosts.
Nice.
And so looking forward to that coming back. Ladine and her best friend in New York are working on their own show. So just stuff, man, just still building. So this Defy Life grind never stops. And I joined the coaching ranks. So I'm now coaching youth football, Lincoln's 12-year-old football team. So, I always talk about the admiration and the respect I have for Al and Pooh, for the coaching they've done over the years. And then that's even more so now that that I'm doing it myself. So, yeah, it's been up to a lot, man. And we do miss y'all, but this grind never stops.
Well, welcome to the coaching club. It is an awesome club to be in, and so to all of us having that role is kind of special. So it just only makes for better conversations as we go on and just be sharing stories. And also, I just want to drop a little early teaser as we talk about Defy Life growth. I have a family member that's considering launching a show, and I'll just keep it at family member, a millennial, a young person, and would be probably with 2 or 3 other co-hosts.
Okay.
So I'll leave it at that because that's just the earliest I was sworn to secrecy.
All right.
But I'll just leave it like that for right now.
Hey, I'll
Stay
take it.
tuned.
No doubt.
Stay tuned.
See? Get all kind of exciting stuff when good things are happening.
Hey, I had to save the reveal for the Welcome Back show. I mean, I was like, nah,
Right.
let me make sure it's special.
Absolutely. Well, whoever that may be, yeah, let's get it. I'm always excited about growth, man. This is so much fun. Good. Well, yeah, man. Before we get too far to the meat of the show, as always, just want to do a little bit of house cleaning. Shout out, as always, to our patrons. Y'all definitely, if you want to support the network, want to support Defy Life in general, if you don't want to go to Defy Life gear and buy stuff, if you just want to support us directly, please check us out at patreon.com/Go Defy Life. It helps us out tremendously with every little bit we get. Thank you so much to all of our existing patrons, and thank you in advance to everybody who joins us in the future. To check us out on all of our platforms. Again, for our branded apparel, you can check us out at www.defylifegear.com. For our written content, you can check us out at www.godefylife.com. And for our podcast hub, where all of our podcasts are located, you can find us on all major platforms and any platform that you have to listen to your favorite podcast. And you can check out our personal centralized website. Our hub is www.defylifepods.com. So, you can find us anywhere, man. If you can't find us, you ain't looking. I'm sorry. It's just how it is. All right. So, guys, it's almost football season. It is preseason, but it's almost officially NFL season, man. Are we excited as usual?
Yes, I am. One, just because it's been, a few months, and I really had a sour taste in my mouth with the Bucs winning. I'll just keep it real. That's not who I was rooting for.
Okay.
Also, if you remember last season, Dak was hurt, so it was a season as a Cowboy fan where it was just kind of thrown away kind of early. Once Dak went out, we knew all hope was out. So,
right.
I'm looking forward to him being back on the field and the Cowboys starting back up. Okay. And I'm hopeful. Every year, Cowboy fans are known for coming into a season thinking, "Oh, this our year," and I always have some way of believing that this could be a productive year. But I do like what I see so far.
Okay. All right. So before we get into the Cowboys, let's jump to Pooh's Bears. I want to just touch on one of the most, and it's interesting because I wanted to touch on, as I started looking at this topic, I wanted to touch on the quarterback rooms of all of our favorite teams. And there's some interesting storylines across the Bears, Jets, Cowboys, and Steelers. Mm-hmm. So, Pooh, update everybody on, the quarterback room for your Chicago Bears. You guys got an exciting rookie and a veteran. Speaking Al's trash, I guess y'all thought was your treasure. But you got a veteran y'all already want to boot out the door. But update everybody on what the Bears quarterback room looks like and what we can expect this season.
Well, you guys know. Oh, you guys hear me?
Yeah.
The mic one. Okay. As you guys know, Andy Dalton is our starter. And that's what we keep hearing over and over and over again. It's become extremely redundant when you see Justin, get out there and looks the way he looked. And we know who Andy is. Not really knocking Andy. They're saying this, they're saying that. I was watching NFL Network today,
And Robinson was saying, yeah, we just don't know if they're probably doing that because don't know if the young man can protect himself. He's supposed to have made a call, slid the line over. But I looked at the play myself, and the running back was in the backfield to block the blitzing backer, and he ran out for a pass. You know, so, I mean, yeah. And the read, I guess he saw it was in man. So I'm assuming he saw the blitz. However, what he didn't do is because they always said throw into the teeth of the D. But he was looking to the left, and the blitzer he was looking to the right. The blitzer came to the left, but the back was set. The back was offset to that side. So I'm only assuming the back should have picked him up because first read was to the left. So I was just wondering why the back didn't pick him up. But anyway, as you know, he said that Andy's the starter. He's going to sit out this last preseason game. They're going to let Justin start. But to me, I think the writing's on the wall for Justin to get the goal. The entire starting offensive line is out. Well, they're back. Actually, we've only been playing preseason with 2 starters, maybe 1 starter, and it looked as such. You know, offensive line really look atrocious. But like I said, all the guys are back this week. They're going to play. Justin's going to play with a lot of starters, and I really, really think they're evaluating him for week 1.
Okay. Well, like we always say, we shall see, because you know it can be a different ball game, of course, when playing with the 3s and the 2s to step up and play with the 1s, but also against the 1s. So we'll see. But it's, you know, as much flack as Andy Dalton might catch, it's always good to have that, you know, steady veteran presence there just in case things go off the rails. So, but I'm rooting for the kid. So
yeah, me too.
All right. Al, and start with, you mentioned your Cowboys. Dak is back. Let's hear it, man.
Man, it all starts and ends with that right there. Dak is back. And for us, we are looking at a quarterback that was hot at the beginning of the season. Like, was one of the best, you know, offenses in the league. And I think it was a testimony to, like, his mentally. I think he had improved and was kind of making better decisions and throws. And then I think it also spoke to the weapons that we had at wide receiver with Cooper, Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb. We were seeing, you know, the early stages as a rookie. And I think now a whole year goes by and you got a CeeDee Lamb second year. So I'm just excited. I mean, I think Dak, we just want to see him on the field and, you know, get him back out there as fast as possible. But I think the shoulder injury that he experienced, you know, we might not see him at all preseason, but it don't matter. As long as he's ready to go beginning of week 1, we are ready to see him back.
No doubt.
And I think the offensive line, you know, we heard a lot last year. The whole line was pretty much out. So that's coming back. You know, we should have a better running game. So it doesn't all have to fall on his shoulders. But I think if we're going to get the Dak that we saw at the end when he broke his leg, we'll take that. And I really think he's going to be even better because CeeDee Lamb's going to be even better. I'm just high on CeeDee Lamb. I'm saying it. To me, he's a Hopkins in the making, D-Hop. And so to add that to our franchise, if he turns out to be a young a D-Hop, I think we are going to see some explosiveness with Dak in his future career. So, yeah, let's go. Let's get it. But we don't have a backup. You mentioned a veteran presence as we don't really need one with the Cowboys, but we don't have a real good option if he goes down.
Yeah, so let's say hopefully Dak stays healthy this year because nobody's interested in Ben DiNucci time. Nobody.
Nah, not at all. We saw
or Cooper Rush time. That's not working.
Yeah, we just praying that what happened last year we don't see again this year.
Right.
We'd be in bad shape like we was last year.
No doubt. Yeah, man. Well, speaking of hot shot rookies, like Pooh has. Your hot shot rookie with the Jets. It's been looking pretty good, man. What's Zach up to in the Meadowlands?
Well, I'm wondering if some of my anticipation and wanting to see the season take off has something to do with the Jets because I'm happy what I see over there too.
All right.
Zach, he's showing himself to be comfortable, poised, making some mistakes, but he's young, learning from them and competing. He has shown in just a couple of games that quarterback presence. And, for those who are new to the show, I'll be keeping 100. I wanted Justin Fields. That was who I was wanting for, who I wanted in the draft. And that's to be the last time I say it because I'm about to jump on this Zach bandwagon and not look back. I like what I see, especially compared to what we've had in the past. And the other thing that I think is going to help him have a really good year is our wide receiving group. Like Corey Davis, Crowder, Keenan Cole, Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims. Like potentially, like that's a real potent, solid wide receiving core.
Yeah, I'm a big Mims fan.
Yeah, me too. And I didn't see him in college, but from what I'm hearing and reading, Elijah Moore is really going to be one of the steals of the draft.
Okay, I like him.
So, right, that's what I'm hearing. That this kid is nice. And then we added Corey Davis as a free agent, so that really just improved, the options that a quarterback has to throw to in the Jets. I mean, really, that's one of the best wide receiving groups that I can really remember from top to bottom as a Jet fan. Like, we might have one or two, but we usually don't have 1 through 5 decent wide receivers. And right now, Denzel Mims is fighting for the 5th spot. Like, he ain't even that's crazy, right? Because I was looking at Denzel Mims last year as like, I'm glad we got this guy. But now he is fighting for the 5th spot on that team.
Wow. Well,
so
that's a good problem to have, right?
That's a great problem to have. Yeah. So I like what I see, and I just think that should help him have a decent, productive first year. And as a Jet fan, that's all we can ask for with the rookie quarterback. Like, just don't look bad, and if you look good, we feeling really good.
No doubt, absolutely.
But another place where we don't have a really good veteran backup, just to re-emphasize what you mentioned earlier. Who is the backup there? Mike White, I think his name is.
Oh, yeah, he sounds like Mike White. And that's such a bland, generic name.
Yeah, I think he's been in the league maybe 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Maybe it sounds funny because I used to work with a dude that we call White Mike, so maybe that's why it sounds funny to me.
They might call him that too.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I can get one of you guys to bite on Nick Foles, man. He was solid backup, man.
And don't nobody want Nick Foles.
Y'all can keep him.
Right.
Hey, when you get Mike in there, you're gonna be wishing you had Nick.
Right. I hate White Mike. Right. Get White Mike out the game. Where's Nick Foles when you need him?
Either that or when you get Robert De Niro in the game in Dallas. That's his name, right?
DiNucci. Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
DiNucci.
Bob DiNucci.
Right.
May as well be Rob De Niro.
He could be an actor. He ain't no damn quarterback. But.
Right.
He can't even play a quarterback. Oh, man. Well, I don't know, man. Exciting things, man. Even, sometimes the most exciting thing is not knowing the results yet, right? So it'll be fun to watch that play out because from what I've seen and from all accounts, all of the rookies, Trevor Lawrence, Zach, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, like all of the rookies have looked pretty good this offseason. So it'll be, of course, there's always going to be bumps in the road and ups and downs when you're talking about rookies at any position, but especially quarterback. So that's going to be fun to watch.
Did you mention a guy out in Trey Lance?
Trey Lance, yeah. Trey Lance has looked good. He's had, the couple games that he's played, that he started, he's had some slow starts where it's kind of like He's a little apprehensive, but then he remembers that he's probably the best, the best athlete on the field. And he's like, oh, shit, I'm Trey Lance. Let's start playing like him. And then he turns it on, and so you can see that he has it.
Yep.
So it's going to be fun to watch, man, all these rookies. In Pittsburgh, we got the antithesis of a rookie. Is outside of Tom Brady, I think Ben Roethlisberger is the oldest starter in the league. So 39 years old. But then his one brief appearance in preseason, he looked like vintage 2012 Ben. Running around, avoiding sacks, pinpoint accuracy. The arm strength looks like it's back. So I think anytime you've got a 39-year-old quarterback, the biggest thing is going to be fixing what we all has been well documented, is fixing the run game in Pittsburgh. With dead last in rushing last season. So Ben Roethlisberger can still do it, but you don't want him to do it throwing the ball 50 times a game. It's not going to work, not at that age. So you want to give him some support, and Najee Harris looks like he's the perfect complement to do that.
Yeah, I like Najee.
Yeah, Najee looks great. But sticking with the quarterbacks, Ben, we know what he is, and another year removed from the elbow surgery, so the arm strength is back. And of course, you can protect him, but the backup is where it's been interesting. Mason Rudolph had a great camp, which was kind of overshadowed by the fact that the third stringer and Dwayne Haskins had an even better camp. So people were rooting and pushing for Haskins, who's a former first-round pick of the Washington football team, to take over as the backup and the possible successor to Ben, and that may still be the case. But for right now, Rudolph is going to be the backup, and Tomlin did not hesitate. Mike Tomlin did not hesitate to say that and to make that point clear, especially based on their playing time this preseason. But I'm excited about the future with the way Haskins looks. And even a guy like Rudolph, we kind of know what he is, but he could be a bridge. At least we have a guy that can be a bridge to the next guy. So, but yeah, for right now, we know what Ben is, and anytime you have a future Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer at quarterback, you got a shot. So that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, I've always liked Ben, the way he played, and I think you're right on in terms of the running game. I think that's going to be the key to him having a good season and y'all having a good season, because you want to keep him safe and really just allow him to do what he does best. And I think kind of get back to the old formula of Pittsburgh, kind of almost when he first came into the league. Like,
right.
Let's do a lot of running the ball, but use you spottingly. But I think with that formula, I think y'all could be really effective.
Right, and especially considering we probably got one of maybe three true elite defenses in the league. Mm-hmm. So I think when you get to that level, you look at Pittsburgh, Washington, maybe Buffalo, Tampa Bay, as guys, as teams that have elite defenses that we know of right now. Of course, there's always teams that surprise, but
right.
So we know that what we're getting on that side of the ball. So it's going to be fun to see, if this is the year that Ben rides off into the sunset. Cool. But if he's, found a Tom Brady fountain of youth, I'm cool with that too. As long as we're competitive, man. So I'm with it.
And in a fun division, I think the matchups just in y'all's division, I think should be interesting games, winnable games. Like, what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I think Cleveland's going to be better, but I still think Pittsburgh's going to surprise some people.
Yeah, I think it's it's going to be a dogfight, man. So, I don't think anything Baltimore, Cleveland, or Pittsburgh is going to run away with this thing. It's always close, especially anything Pittsburgh and Baltimore do. It could be hopscotch, and the shit gonna be close. So, yeah. Yeah, man. So, but of course, we shall see, like we always say. But yeah, man. On to our listener question. So, this is a hell of a question because when I asked myself this question after I heard it, I was like, oh, I don't know. So we were going to come back next week. But we had some scheduling issues, so we pushed it back to this week. So this question kind of originated from a guy I work with. Actually, a guy I kind of work for. My boss's boss kind of gave me this question. So shout out to Todd. Todd in Greensboro, North Carolina. So Todd he's a Steelers fan as well. And of course, Hall of Fame weekend was a big weekend for Steelers fans. We had 5 Steelers go into the Hall of Fame over this, this big class combined from last year and this year. And he was like, man, who you think the next Steeler is going to be to go into the Hall of Fame? You think we're going to have to wait on Ben? And I was like, man, that's a good question. So I'm asking, I was like, I asked him if he mind if I made this our question of the week. So I'm asking y'all. So Poole, starting with you, man. Who you think will be, first of all, who's the last Bear to go into the Hall of Fame? Is it Urlacher?
Yeah.
Okay. And when I say, guys don't officially go in, under a team, but they always are represented, by the team that they choose to have them represent them. So, so it could be, who do you think will be the next Bear to go into the Hall of Fame?
Ah, man. Tillman had a great career, but I don't think any of just right off topic. I just think Devin Hester just changed the game though. As in, right. He's in the books.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the books all up and through it.
Is he eligible? Yeah. He's eligible yet, right?
No, he's not eligible yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. He just retired. I remember he retired from Atlanta like maybe 3 years ago.
Oh, he did go to Atlanta. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Because he ended up getting like 2-3 more with Atlanta.
Right. Yeah. Ooh, that's interesting. I didn't even think about Hester.
Me neither.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for that because I was struggling. I was like, man, who were the Bears? Because even though y'all's defense in in the mid 2000s was dominant, Urlacher was really like the only Hall of Fame worthy one from that defense.
Yeah, he and of course Pep won't go down as us. He's gonna go down as a Panther.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I think he had about the same, like his sack total was even, I think.
Yeah, probably so. But
I know he's a Panther through and through.
Right, and he ended up with going back to the Panthers. He went, he's a Tar Heel. So
finish up.
Yeah. Devin Hester, man, that's a good one. And if we truly mean what we say when we say special teams is 1/3 of the game, Devin Hester belongs.
He's literally like, if not the best, one of the best to do it.
Right.
Like,
I'm trying to think of anyone else like was primarily a return guy who, I guess, like Brian Mitchell. Who else would Billy White, Hughes Johnson? No, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to compare, like, find his contemporaries, like somebody we can compare him to. And whoever we name, Hester's ahead of him because he's got to be.
He's ahead of him. Yeah, he's ahead of him. Whoever you name.
So even if I would say Brian Mitchell would be his closest comparison, probably. But he's not there. Billy White Shoes ain't there. But you can definitely make an argument for Mitchell.
Yeah, you can make an argument.
And if you can make an argument for Mitchell, Hester belongs.
Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right.
Agreed.
Al, who you had a Cowboy, 2 Cowboys go in this year.
Yep.
Jimmy Johnson and Drew Pearson. Yeah. So you ain't got to go but look far back to see who's the last one. Who you think will be the next Cowboy to go into the Hall of Fame?
I'm going with DeMarcus Ware. And I think while there are some people who haven't been in and are questionable, like a Harvey Martin, I think some people who watched football at that time might be shocked that Randy White is in, but Harvey Martin is not, just because they were right there dominating on an defensive line together. But I just think DeMarcus Ware, in terms of his status in the league, his stats, I think are going to, as people look at him and compare him to other pass rushers, I think he had almost 140 sacks. And that counts. Like that's you top 10 now when you get up that high. And I think if you're the top 10 of sack leaders in the NFL, eventually you need to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. So maybe not first ballot, that might be a lot to claim first ballot, but I think he'll be the next one to get in there.
Okay. Yeah, so it's funny we're talking about you said top 10. I'm not sure you guys are aware, but the Pro Football Focus actually went back and counted. Sacks didn't become an official stat until 1983. They went back and counted all the sacks from all those guys who played before that.
Awesome.
So now we have an official all-time sacks list. And of course, you've mentioned guys like Deacon Jones, Jack Youngblood, guys like that who were before that time. So Deacon Jones, actually, they compiled all of his sacks. He ended up with 173.5 to put him third all-time behind Bruce Smith and Reggie White.
Okay.
Bruce Smith is 200 sacks even. Reggie White 198. But so with that, it pushed DeMarcus Ware out of the top 10. He ended up with 138.5.
Okay.
Yeah. So still very respectable. But yeah. So man, that's a good one. DeMarcus Ware. I can't think of anybody that I could throw out to argue with him.
Some people, I don't think Darren Woodson is in
that's
there.
That's what I was about to say. If I say should be or will be, it's a two different questions. Should be, Darren Woodson should have been in the Hall of Fame. He's kind of on that Steve Atwater list of like safeties who are supremely underrated.
Yep.
But I would say if we're saying should be, it should be Darren Woodson.
He's the safety we've been trying to replace since he retired. We haven't had a safety that good since he left.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Wow. So you think is Jason Witten the Hall of Famer, first ballot?
Definitely.
The only reason I say
he would get my
because
vote. He would get my vote. Right?
That's the only way he squeezed in before Ware.
Right. But he's not eligible for
another 4 years.
Right. So he might be first ballot, but Ware might sneak in before him. But either way, I think because Witten played, I just think his career and just being one of the best tight ends in the game for so long will definitely get people to vote for him.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So as that question was asked to me about the Steelers, well, just see your Jets. Who you think? Who's the last Jet to go into the Hall of Fame? Good God.
I'm not who the last is, but I think the next would be Darrelle Revis.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's no question.
I almost said Zach Wilson because I really couldn't think of nobody. I just maybe it's somebody current.
Right. We got to project.
Right. Because I don't really see anybody off of our rosters. I think Darrelle Revis.
Been the Altoon going to the Hall of Fame.
No, I don't think so.
No?
But he had
Oh.
his career was, I think, kind of cut short.
Yeah, it was cut short.
Uh,
Yeah, I can't think of the last Jet to go in.
Keyshawn, is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah. No, he's not. No.
Wow. So maybe Keyshawn. I mean, I think he's a Hall of Famer for me.
That's good that you say that. I'm glad you said that because I had this conversation with Lincoln the other day. Shout out to Lincoln, by the way. Y'all be hearing him, periodically. But
Yeah.
we had this conversation because he keeps pounding about Heinz Ward and why Heinz Ward. I had to kind of explain to him, like, look, as much as I love to see Heinz Ward in the Hall of Fame, it took Chris Carter 3-4 years. It took Michael Irvin 2-3 years. It took Marvin. Receiver is such a hard position to get in because it's such a logjam, right?
It took Art Monk. I thought, I almost stopped believing in the Hall of Fame when I found out that Art Monk was not in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I feel like it was like 20 years after he graduated.
Yeah.
I mean, after he retired,
right.
he in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and it probably was. But I think Keyshawn kind of falls into that Heinz Ward category where, his accomplishments and his numbers are going to fall behind a lot of guys, a lot of his contemporaries. So you look at, the guys who've recently gotten in, but even guys who are yet to get in, who will be coming up soon, like Larry Fitzgerald, Big Play Dre, Torrey Holt, guys like that it's a logjam at receiver. Isaac Bruce just got in. So, Keyshawn's a tough one because I think he's a Hall of Famer too, but man, wide receiver's tough to get in.
Yeah.
Okay. And would he go in as a Cowboy or a Jet?
That's something for him to ask.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I would hope, for me, or he won the Super Bowl with the Bucks.
He did. Damn, I forgot about that.
He might say, "This is who I got my ring with."
All right. They suspended him right afterwards, but hey.
So but I've always liked his game. I thought he was one of the best, when he was doing it, and so
yeah. All right. But yeah, so I mentioned Heinz Ward. I think Heinz Ward is going to be like Art Monk. The one thing that's going to help him out is, the Super Bowls. But, he's a guy who ended his career with 1,000 receptions on the dot. So that is nowhere near, in the pantheon of great statistics, that we've seen from receivers. But, it's the intangibles, say the best blocking wide receiver in NFL history. He's on that short list. 2 Super Bowls. So a lot of times we say NFL Hall of Fame is about moments, and sometimes it's not so much about stats. So he's got a Super Bowl MVP under his name. So, he's got the credentials, but I just think he may be a guy who's waiting for 20 years, kind of like a guy who I think should be the next to get in for the Steelers, which would be L.C. Greenwood. But I think people got kind of Steelers fatigue with all those guys from the 70s, and we had another one finally get in Donnie Shell this year. But I think L.C. Greenwood is deserving. Andy Russell's definitely deserving, but I'm not sure if they ever get in just because people just think it's too many of those guys from that one team. So I'm going to say, so of course, again, the last Steelers to go in were from a couple weeks ago. I would say the next one to get in, this is tough. Faneca went in. I'm going to have to say Ben. I don't think Ward gets in before Ben. Bettis is already in. I would love to see James Harrison in. And that's what kills me, because if Kurt Warner's in the Hall of Fame, James Harrison should be in the Hall of Fame. That's just how, both kind of careers kind of cut short, came out of nowhere, undrafted, and became the best of what they did in a short time. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to say Ben. I don't even think it's, unless somebody starts pounding the table for LC Greenwood. Yes, I say Ben Roethlisberger is the next Steeler that gets into the Hall of Fame. So looking at, another probably 5-6 years before that happens.
And I think defensive line, defensive end, similar to Harvey Martin, and similar to wide receiver. There's just a log jam, a lot of quality defensive linemen, and as great of a career as LC Greenwood and Harvey Martin had, when as new pass rushers start getting on the list, it's kind of like,
Right, and again, like you said, like defensive line, it's a position that can't always be judged by statistics, because you look at guys, like you said, like an LC Greenwood or Harvey Martin, who it wasn't their job to just go out and get sacks.
Mm-hmm.
Look at guys like, other Steelers like Casey Hampton, Aaron Smith, guys who were great, but it just wasn't their job to go get sacks like that. But when you, especially when you look back 20 years ago or 20 years from now, that's the first thing people are going to look at. Well, let's look at his stats and see if he's worthy. And if you don't pass that threshold, you're never going to get to the meat of conversation. So that's tough.
Right.
Y'all ready for some trivia?
It's been a long time. Yes.
It's been a while. Again, I kind of looked at this list. When the Hall of Fame was going on, and I with so many coaches from like our era, with Jimmy Johnson and Bill Cowher going into the Hall of Fame, I just wanted to focus on NFL coaches. So, guys, there are 7 coaches in NFL history with at least 200 regular season wins. Right. There's only 7. And there's some great names who are not on this list, which is crazy to me. So I just want y'all to give me those 7 names. You miss one, the next person has to answer one correctly to beat you. So we'll go through those 7 names. Whoever can give me, there's an uneven number, so whoever can, we'll go back and forth. Whoever misses one, the next person that gets a right one wins.
Okay.
I don't know who won last time.
Right.
I have no idea.
Dang.
All right. So the first cliche that popped in my head was age before beauty. So Al, you get to go first.
I'll take that. Old man in the crew.
All right. Yeah, they call him Pretty Pooh. So
Go ahead.
your first.
Don Shula.
Don Shula is number 1 on the list. 328, most wins in NFL history, regular season.
That might be all it need to get the W, because I had Don lined up myself. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go out there and on a limb, man. I'm gonna go with Tom Landry.
Tom Landry is number 4, 250 wins. Yes.
Wow. I'm gonna go with Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick is number 3, 280 wins all time. Yeah.
Wow. After that, bro, I totally go blank. Belichick.
9.
Countdown is back.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I guess I'm gonna have to go with bro, I don't know nobody.
All right, Al.
Bill Parcells.
That is incorrect. Bill Parcells not on the list. Good thing he ain't, because if he was and Al said him, he would have won. 'Cause you said it after the first.
One.
Way after the fact. But at least the good thing is, I was gonna say Bill Parcells.
Wow.
I won't say that.
Oh man.
Let's try coach of the Bears, George Hallis.
That's why I was like, man, I can't believe Pooh ain't good as George Hallis.
Yeah.
Number
I
2
forgot-
all time, 318 wins.
I forgot about Papa Bear.
Yeah. So Al, congrats, man. You won the trivia.
That's how we get it started. I've been
Right.
studying all summer vacation.
That's what I'm talking about.
I came ready. Like, where he going with this week? I got to study all this.
Right. Everything.
Papa Bear. Golly.
Bad. Right.
I was on. My other guest was going to be Chuck Noll. Was he on the list?
Oh, Chuck Noll just missed the list. He's 8th all time with 193 wins. So y'all got 1 through 4. You got Shula with 328, Hallis with 318, Belichick 280, and Tom Landry with 250. The 3 that we didn't get were Curly Lambeau. Of course, anytime Lambeau Field is named after you, you probably got a bunch of wins.
Yeah.
226 wins, which is very impressive because back then they were playing 12 and 14 game seasons. Next on the list shocked me. Andy Reid is 6th all time, but regular season Andy gets it done though. 221 wins. Yeah.
Wow, he's moving up the list. He's gonna pass somebody this list.
Right.
I mean, this season.
Yeah, he'll pass Lambeau. Yeah. And number 7, the guy who always gets forgotten. It's a damn shame that he doesn't get the credit because he never won a Super Bowl. But Marty Schottenheimer, 200 wins on the dot.
Okay.
Yeah. Marty, everybody loved Marty Schottenheimer, man. Just passed away recently. But you know, one of the icons of our era. Again, guys who just missed the list: Chuck Noll at 193, Dan Reeves at 190.
Wow.
Chuck Knox at 186.
Oh wow.
This one floored me. Jeff Fisher at 173.
Wow.
But mediocre Jeff was 173 and 165. That sounds about right. One time. Bill Parcells, 12th all time with 172. Tom Coughlin and Mike Shanahan are tied at 170. Paul Brown at 166. Mike Holmgren at 161. Joe Gibbs at 154. I'm just naming some names that are be interesting.
Wow, Joe Gibbs only at 154.
Right. Bill Cowher at 149. Pete Carroll at 145. So interesting. 2 things. Mike Tomlin has 145, so him and Pete Carroll are still active, so they're kind of battling it out right now. But also, Mike Tomlin will become the second winningest coach in Steelers history this year if he wins 5 games. So he'll overtake Bill Cowher for that spot. Yeah.
And he's still young enough that if he stays in the league,
Right.
he got a good shot.
He ain't even 50.
Moving way up the list.
Yeah. So,
He just needs one more franchise quarterback.
Right, exactly. Mike Ditka has 121. He's 34th all time. Yeah, so good job, y'all. This was fun.
Yeah, appreciate it. Definitely good to be back.
No doubt. Yeah, man. I know we ain't have it on the list, but y'all got any parting shots before we go?
I didn't come prepared with a parting shot, so I'm just going to say great to be back.
No doubt.
Everybody stay safe and see y'all next week. It's so good to say that.
Absolutely. All right. Lapu, anything?
Hey, I'm definitely the same thing. It's great to be back. And to all the fantasy football players, let the drafts begin.
All right. You know, I'm not a fantasy head. I know, but I do know how exciting this time of year is for you guys. So, good luck to Pooh. Good luck to everybody who on the Five Life family who plays fantasy, and everybody outside of our Defy Life family who participates in fantasy, because y'all get serious with this thing, man. So, yeah. But yeah, man, it's been fun. It's been episode 198. Check us out on DefyLifePods.com and everywhere else your favorite podcasts are available. We'll talk to y'all next week. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy life.